where were we? What are we going to do next? Next, so we've done taking damage. We're going to do game control. So the player has died, we want to respawn the player somewhere. So we're going to add a new child node. We're going to do it as just a basic node. Not going to have any position. We don't care about node 2D. And we're just going to have that called. Game control. We're instantly going to add it to the game control group. Where is it? We're just going to have a game control script. Now, this is going to be a bit of a messy one. It's going to control... It's basically just going to be a bunch of signal listeners. So... What was it we were calling it? Player has taken damage. So, we're adding this in here because maybe we might want to do something on the game control with that. Oh no. What was the other one? It was player is dead? Player has died. There we go. So, player has died. We might want to wait 20 seconds. I don't know. That's a bit of a long time. Maybe like 2 seconds before we respawn the player. Once this object gets complicated, once it starts getting unwieldy, what we'll do is do a refactor. Now this might happen like a week or two down the line. Do a refactor and maybe move all the player has died stuff, the player controls out into its own object, and any like other stuff we add into here. This is just going to be a depository for random overarching stuff, so like loading new levels, respawning the player, spawning the player at the start, all that kind of stuff. It's just going to be handled by this. And then when it gets a bit bulky, we will start moving it across. So, public make it 1 second. So player has died, respawn player is another function. Alright, we'll take out that player taking damage, we don't need it. It's just gonna look weird being a no-op. Public nodes. What I forgot to do here. So what this does is shows it up in the UI. If we rebuild this, and if it decides to update, it should notice that that's null. But what we're going to do is we are going to take the player and we're going to create ourselves a prefab out of it. So now, if we want to edit the player, we need to go into the player scene and we literally just have this. So root must be set is what I put in there. Now, this is what confuses me sometimes. Is that you can't set this to the root of a prefab. And this is what confuses me sometimes. So the way we're going to have this work is game settings is going to be on its own scene. And it's going to be able to, all this stuff in here is going to be able to load other scenes as prefab. So each of the different scenes is going to get loaded into here. And that's going to include the player. The player isn't going to be a child of the level. It's going to be a child of that, the root. So now we want, instead of assigning this, we're going to assign this. Which doesn't work. Why does that not work? Because we need to... It needs to be something else. Act scene, I think. Cool. That's what we need. That's what we have. And now we're going to remove player from this. We're going to have respawn player, and we're going to have act scene. What's it said to do? Load. Well, it's already loaded. How do we position the player? How do we position the player? We don't want to assign a spawn point to the object itself. We don't want this object to know what a spawn point is. We want to be able to find a spawn point and trigger the active one. So we might want to have... the level, all this stuff in the level. No, we want a node 2D. As a spawn point, so we want the spawn point to be here. We just literally have a single node in a player spawn group, and then we do get tree, get nodes in group, Okay, so that'll be our respawn player. So as soon as we're ready, we'll respawn the player. Okay, I can just do that then. How do we add a node? Add to root node. Okay, get tree.root, okay. Cool. So we're respawning the player, we're getting an instance of the pack node. We are getting a first group spawn point, and we're setting the player position to the spawn position. We're doing that. So player has died, we want to wait a certain amount of time. How do we do that? Is there a timer class? There is. It's a Godot timer as well. So player has died, we start the spawn timer. We'll stick that as a new node under it. Okay, so we now add. Just build that. That should throw us a warning. These warnings aren't working. Okay, add child node timer. Cool. What we do is we do a timer timeout. Go up to game control. Respawn player. And so when the game controller detects that it's died, it calls start, timeout happens, it will respawn the player. So hopefully this should just work. Okay, it didn't work. It didn't work because of the thing that I put the... Gotta sign that. Debugger. What the hell is that? Okay, can I not add anything to the tree during ready? There is a deferred. I've done this before. This was This isn't how I did it before. But call deferred is what we need to do, I think. Hopefully it should work. Yeah, it does work. Okay. Good, good, good. 4, 5. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You're supposed to stop after 1. Oh, you have to select it as one shot. Okay, that's fine. Lesson learned. Okay, but because root is null. Because you can't set the root as the prefab root. Fine, we will not set. I don't like doing that. I don't like just assuming its position in the hierarchy and doing parent. Fine. Okay, so we've got respawning in. That's good. Cool. Okay. I think we're done with that. Now we need to figure out how we can do multiple different spawn points. So if we lied... Okay, no, that's even easier. If we collide with a respawn point, we just move the player spawn point. Like the actual object itself. So we will do that as checkpoint. Change the color rect to a nice, said a nice yellow, not a horrible yellow. Move that over here. Might want to center that, I guess. Where is the position on this? Oh, it's hidden under there. There we go. So that is our checkpoint. We are going to change the script on this to a new script called checkpoint. Perfect. We're basically going to take this. We're going to do get tree. First node in group. Cool. So we need to create a new signal because we want it to change color when we trigger it. Where is it? That's what we want. We're going to do the emit signal. Signal name. Yeah, so this is one of the ones that creates nice and like it generates these like we're manually generating the constants that we're using. Point. And hopefully this builds. Oh, it must end with event handler. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go. There's added it in. So, if the current checkpoint exists, we're deactivating the current checkpoint. And then we're setting the current checkpoint to this. We're hoping. Should I put that in a try-catch? I don't know. It's something to watch out for, because we don't know if that'll get dereferenced at any point, and if that null check exists. Actually, I'm guessing null should be fine if we're checking it. So now that we've got that in, still got that up, okay. Okay, area 2D. What is our collision? We are colliding with the player only. Good. And okay, so you can disconnect these, connect them all just to be sure. Okay, that's fine. Now we're going to go to checkpoint. We're going to do this. We're going to go to color rect. We should be able to add a color there. We will make it green. And then when it's deactivated, we will put it back to yellow. What we'll also do is we'll just take off the visible collision shapes. So we'll have one checkpoint here. We'll have one checkpoint here. So if I die right away, I should respawn right there. If I hit that, that turns green. If I die, I should spawn at that checkpoint. Yes. There's a bug. I know what the bug is, but I can fix that. And I respawn there. Excellent. That's easy. We don't want to deactivate the current checkpoint if it's us. We'll just explicitly do the null check in there. I don't like using that null terminating one. I still don't know how it handles nulls. And I'm scared because of Unity. Unity has made me scared of nulls. Null terminating operators. Well, it's made me wary of them in game engines. I still use them all the time in proper application development because I know the environment. Okay, cool. But what we will also do is we will move the player spawn point into the level. So What will happen is, player spawn point will be in the level. When we remove the level, we won't have a spawn point. When we create the level, the spawn point will be in its default position. So we can set the player's default spawn point without having to have a checkpoint there. It also means that that won't bleed over into other levels, causing weirdness. We don't like weirdness. Weirdness leads to bugs. So, yeah, we have checkpoints, we have hazards, we have deaths and respawns. Multiple levels next, potentially. Certainly an idea. Is that level anything? That level is not anything, that's fine. We can just make that test level, we can drag that into here as a scene. And we can remove that. We can go to game control. Load level 0. Levels. We don't really care about positioning. That's fine. Easy. So there we go. That should be able to allow us to load level 0, respawn the player. Public void level is complete. So when we call level is complete, we start the timer. Literally just the same as player has died. We'll have another timer that will then call next level. What we'll also need to track is current level instance. So if we have a level instance, we unload it, then we load in the next level. We're not doing any kind of transitions or anything like that. We're just boom boom. So again, we'll build it. So now our test scene is very, very small. We literally only have game controller and a timer. We'll rename that. We'll make that 5 seconds. Cool. So we want to add an element. We want to add in test level. We want to duplicate that and make that test level 2. There we go. Test level 1, test level 2. Load up test level 2. We'll remove the checkpoints and the hazard. Go back to test level 1. We're going to duplicate the hazard again. But this time, we're going to rename it to end of level trigger. Move it over here. Give it a nice give it a nice magenta color. And again, we'll just change the script to end of level trigger. Make it exactly the same as the checkpoint. When something enters it, we are going to level is complete. And we're probably going to want to deactivate this trigger. So this dot... What was it called again? Free? You're free. So it doesn't trigger twice. So go back into test. This should load. If you do this, 3, 4, 5. Not great. What happened there? We didn't... I don't know what happened there. We didn't despawn the player. Where is it? Cool. Let's just make sure that we get rid of it. And then we respawn the player after we've loaded a level. That should work, right? Okay, we're now respawning the player twice. Because, yeah, we're doing that there. We just want to call deferred load level 0. Because that'll handle now respawning the player. So we do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Respawn. Excellent. Cool. And what we can do, just for future, in the game control, level loaded, so that we can do some post stuff. So like display the level name, all that kind of stuff.